Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Monday. Welcome to a new week. Tomorrow's going to be kind of interesting. It'll be 2/22/22, right? It's kind of cool. In 200 years, tomorrow will be 2/22/22/22. I may have thrown an extra 2 in there, but hey, what the heck. So, good day to everyone. Again, happy Monday and welcome. Let's see. Before we get started with today, which is Hodgepodge Monday, it is Hodgepodge Monday. I'm just going to pull some cards while I wait for people to come on. Good morning, baby sibling, and see what's happening. So, let's see. I don't know if anything really wants to come out today or just wants me to get right to the subject. So, all right, well, there's 3. I guess that's enough for now, right? Anyways, let's see. The first one, just chill. Don't be hasty. Don't rush to judgment. Don't be hasty and don't rush to judgment. So just chill. Just chill. Number 2, Rumi wisdom. Oh, I love Rumi. Don't worry that your life is turning upside down. How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come? I should save that because that feels like it's going to be part of what I talk about today. And go. How many people have let their fears control their life? Find your courage. That's another one that's going to hit home today. So I suppose all of these just kind of fit the tone that we're going to go for. In fact, I'm going to pull a few more while I wait for some people to come on. A heart filled with love is like a phoenix that no cage can imprison. Also Rumi. Okay, so a heart filled with love is like a phoenix that no cage can imprison. I'm going to build on this. And, you know, when we sit here and we think about a card like this, the first thing we think of is, but I'm not in love. Nobody loves me. What's in here is the most important love you are ever, excuse me, I don't know what that was. What's in here is the most important love you are ever going to need in your life. Everything else is a bonus, whether it's a spouse, a child, family, friends, siblings, parents. You have to love yourself first. That's where a heart filled with love is like a phoenix that no cage can imprison. When you love yourself completely, you're going to feel like you are empowered, like you can do anything, like anything can be yours. And I know it can be a struggle. I know it can feel like, yeah, whatever, you know, nothing good ever, you know, it's sometimes for some people, it's very hard to have self-love. And it just kind of is what it is. But in order to find that love in yourself, you have to make that choice. You have to decide if it's what you want and if it's the path you want to go down. Now, you're probably saying, what do you mean if it's what I want? A lot of people struggle making that choice to feel better, to get better. And they just keep going further and further and further and sinking deeper and deeper and deeper. But how much farther do you want to go? How much deeper do you want to go? So, here's the Tri-Wizard card. I don't know. Maybe I just came to some kind of validating revelation for myself, but it says, congratulations, you have succeeded. Pat yourself on the back. And sometimes maybe that's all it is. It's just acknowledgement, right, of what you're going through. And here's the last one. Start each day with a grateful heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember what I said a long time ago and repeated actually quite often. When you wake up in the morning, be absolutely grateful that you're awake. Even if you feel like you have nothing else to be grateful for. You are breathing. You have a second chance. You have another chance. Not even a second chance. You have another chance. Every time you wake up or every morning or however your schedule fits you, each day is a new opportunity to do what it is you want to do. Now, one of the reasons I've been focusing on mental health so much lately is because, one, I feel like it's kind of where this has been heading all this time. I find some really amazing things online. This is my bracelet one of my besties sent me, my sister from another mister. But I lost my train of thought. I did. This, folks, that's what depression looks like. Am I smiling? Yeah. Do I feel good inside? Yeah. But there's like this anchor on my heart right now. And it's a struggle. It is a true struggle. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about. Oh, I remember. So, sorry. This is how it works. But this is how I think, this is the direction I think the perspective was moving into, is mental health. I mean, that's one of my big things that I like to advocate for. Because I don't think it gets the attention it should get. I don't think it gets the eyes focused on it that it should get, that are understanding. People who have a dinged up mental health will sit there and go, yeah, I get all this, and now I don't feel alone. But mental health awareness isn't just to help people not feel alone. It's to help people who do not have a dinged up mental health understand where we might be coming from. Understand that, just because we have a diagnosis doesn't mean that we're difficult. It doesn't mean that we're, nothing but trouble. It doesn't mean we don't know how to be happy. It just means that there are going to be days where we're going to struggle. And there are some people who struggle every single day. And sometimes it's because they don't know how to move forward. And other times it's because they may have a multiple diagnosis where they just don't know how to move forward. And sometimes they need that person to be understanding, but it's hard to find because there is no patience, because people do not understand what it's like to have a dinged up mental health. It's hard to explain to people. A lot of people would just say, well, I don't understand. You seem happy. Yeah, but that's not always an ongoing thing. I do these perspectives and I feel good when I do them. I feel great when I do them. Then I turn off the camera and sometimes I'm just kind of like, oh God, I just want to crawl back into bed. And other times they lead to shadow work, which is what happened with the Dissociation Self-Care Wednesday about a week and a half ago. That did a number on me. But it was the last of my shadow work that I needed. So, this is kind of, like I said, where the perspective is heading. Now, it still gets fun. We have Oracle Fridays. But, whether you have a dinged up mental health or not, just stay tuned. If you're new to my channel and new to the show, new to the live, I do a card pull in the morning just to kind of, get everyone kind of going and, all the good stuff. But, I also do it because I think sometimes it's good for guidance in the morning. And of course, it's a live, so I got to wait for people to come on. But it is Hodgepodge Monday. I do have a theme for every day. It has taken a while to get a theme for every day. Tuesday thoughts and things I think on Thursday are very similar, but like I said, for now, it's going to be focusing a lot on the different aspects of mental health, what we can do to help ourselves. The internet is a glorious place. Social media is a glorious place. You can find all sorts of things there. You can find, even in places that you don't think you're going to find things. I had a quote. I do a list with two of my very favorite people in the world. We share a list every morning, Monday through Friday, to keep ourselves accountable. And sometimes we don't have one. Sometimes it's just like, what? I don't have. If I don't do a list, it's because I just don't have the mental capacity to do it, and because I pretty much just don't care. So let's get going. Okay, let's get crack-a-lacking right into Hodgepodge Monday. I got this information from whatsyoursign.com. I know, right? You're thinking, whatsyoursign.com? What do they have to do with mental health? Well, mental health isn't always going to be by the book. Okay, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I was a peer counselor in high school, but I'm not a therapist. All right. I'm coming to you from a place of having depression. I'm coming from a place, and that doesn't mean counselors don't. Hey, therapists have therapists, believe it or not. But I don't know if all of them do, but a lot of them do. And can you blame them for some of the stuff they probably have to listen to? I need to get that out of me too. But this card fits me perfectly. Little head wagging his little message, right? Do not worry that your life is turning upside down. How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come? I have been stuck in a cycle of fear. for probably the last 6 or 7 months, whether you could tell or not, my life has been imploding and has been one of the most spectacular shit shows on the planet. But I've kept as much of it in as I can. I've tried to do the perspective from a good place. Last week I missed 2 days in a row, which is almost uncalled for. Oh God, I can't even see. This is how my brain works, because what's happening to me, and I don't know if it's everybody's experience, but what's happening to me is the more overwhelmed I get, the less I can put thoughts together, the less I can think in a straightforward fashion. But canceling 2 shows in a row is not like me. I didn't mean to say uncalled for. I don't know where that came from, but it's not like me. In fact, I have canceled more shows in the last couple of months than I probably have in the first year when I was still the Daily Vibe. But I haven't been able to get this under control. And because I haven't been able to get this spectacular shit show unheard of, thank you, older sibling, under sibling. Okay. Let me take a second to gather myself here. Canceling 2 shows in a row is pretty much unheard of. I don't know why I couldn't think of that, but I couldn't. So, this is how the brain works. And sometimes when you can't put 2 thoughts together, you start to feel bad about yourself. It's just a really ugly cycle, right? It's like you're running on a little wheel. And at what point you have to figure out when I need to jump off. And last week on the lists, so you know what? I'm not going to apologize for my mental health. All right. But I am going to put this out there right now. This may be a rough perspective, not because of tears or anything. I actually am not feeling the emotions. I mean, I'm feeling the emotions, but not to that degree. But I may be jumping all over the place because my brain is trying so hard to stick thoughts together. But if I look at something like my notes, I suddenly go off in a different direction. So I'm going to do my best to stay on track and to stay focused and to stay with you all. But please bear with me. All right. So last week when I was talking about the lists that I make with 2 of my friends, well, they're like they're my girls. I mean, one of them's baby sibling and the other one, she might as well just be my family too. My quote was, life is not linear. Life is not linear. You know, I've been feeling guilty about things I haven't been able to do. I've been feeling guilty over, okay, you know what? I'm just going to be straight up honest here. All right. A lot of times I don't like to talk about these things because I don't want pity. I want people to understand how mental health can affect people. I like to be on top of things. I like to have enough control in my life that things get done because it feels like success to me. Sorry, I'm really trying not to cry during this. Partly too because my makeup looks pretty decent, right? Like, what's a few tears? But I think the emotions are coming because this is literally a place where I'm at this jumping off point in a good way. And I think the only way to move past the fears that I've been feeling is to really kind of, put it out there for people who don't have a dinged up mental health to understand. Good morning, Lori. Why things happen the way they do, how things happen the way they do. Sometimes people may come off as being irresponsible, but a lot of times it's because their mental health is so damaged and so, just kind of anchored in a bad place that it's hard to move forward. So like I said, I've had this guilt. I've had this guilt that I haven't been able to do the things I wanted to do. I have this guilt that I haven't been able to pay the bills that I want to pay. Because it's about eating and keeping utilities on right now. And even that is getting to be a struggle. I mean, I'm so far behind on so many things, it's not even funny. And that just puts more pressure right? That just adds to the pressure. That just adds to the pain and not wanting to do anything, because you figure if you just sit in one place long enough, it'll get better. But it doesn't do that unless you take the step forward to make it better. So I said I was not going to cry, and I'm really, really trying not to cry. So, all right. So, that's why this card really hit home today. The do not worry. That your life is turning upside down. It just feels like it's just upside down. You know, my dad and I were talking last week, and ironically we were talking about roller coasters, because he's not a big fan, okay? I mean, it's not that he's afraid of them, he's not, but he's not a big fan of them. But he's all, well, what happens if you go on a roller coaster and you're in a loop and you just get stuck? Now, we've seen this on the news, right? We've seen this happen all over the country. I mean, I don't know if this has happened all over the world and other amusement parks, but we've definitely seen this happening here in the United States. Oh, my sweet friend, I am sending you, sorry, I'm reading a comment, guys, but I am sending you a lot of love and light, okay? And, you know, we're here, okay? Sibling and I are here if you need someone to talk to, if you need someone to just, you know, sit with you, you know, and just, even if it's just in silence, all right? But, this is what it's felt like. Do not worry that your life is turning upside down. It's hard because I have to feel like I'm in control. Not being able to pay my bills is the worst feeling in the world, because one of the things, even though you complain about it, right? You complain about paying your bills. When you're not able to do it, it is such a satisfaction to be able to do it, because you feel responsible. You feel like an adult. Not being able to do it and struggling to find a job makes it even harder, because, you know, there's so much anxiety that's involved. There's so much more depression that it keeps piling up until you're up to here, or maybe even up to here, because you can't breathe anymore. You're just suffocating. You're stuck. You're in pain, and you just want to scream at the top of your lungs, just help me. You know, you just want to sit there and chokehold every source or higher power that you have and say, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you not helping me? And we always hear that thing, you know, source helps those who help themselves, right? You know, in this case, it's God helps those. Well, sometimes you need that extra help. But when they say who helps themselves, maybe it's simply about being honest about where you're at. I have to tell you, sharing this personal part of myself, it's not easy. It's scary, and it leaves me out there for judgment. But I know there's people out there who are going to see this and who are going to say, oh my God, I totally get it. And what I started to do to help myself was, a really good friend of mine, Cheryl, I've referenced her a few times, but not actually used her name on the show. She sent me, it's cute. She'll send me things and say, this really resonated with me, because I think she's afraid to tell me, hey, I saw this, I thought of you, and I'm sending it to you, maybe it'll help. And she sent me a guided meditation, and she sent me this one YouTube video called Am Affirmations. And it is like a list of like a gazillion things. And it tells you, repeat this for 21 days. Okay, every day for 21 days. What I've been doing is I started yesterday. I write the affirmations down, and then I repeat them before I go to bed. So I write them in the morning, and then I go back through my list and I repeat them before I go to bed. Some of them pertain to us, some of them may not. But the point is, it's supposed to be empowering. And I've only done 2 days now, but I've been able to come on here and say, hey, life is not linear, and life is not linear. This page right here literally sat empty until last night. All I had was what was from here up, you know, the date, what today is. I actually put in the whatsyoursign.com because I like to give credit where credit's due, last night. But I mean, all I had was the date, what today is, Monday, Hodgepodge, and life is not linear. And when I have my little magnet that baby sibling sent me, a bunch of little ones, but it says keep calm and carry on. Okay, easier said than done sometimes, but my point is, when we become honest with where we're at, with how we're struggling, sometimes that's the weight that needs to be lifted off of you. You know, older sibling and I were talking last night about, and she finished off with, everything's going to be all right. Now, that Bob Marley song has actually been stuck in my head for the last couple of days. So I took that as validation that, hey, you know what, even though my world is turning upside down, I absolutely feel I feel like I'm stuck upside down on that roller coaster, just hanging there. You know, if there's even a commercial for it, right? With that wrestler guy who is an actor now. And, sorry. Oh, John Cena. That's his name. It took me a second. But, you know, with the cow, the purple cow, the cute purple cow. But, you know, even they're hanging upside down, right? It's like, hey, you know. And that's how it can feel sometimes. It can feel so overwhelming that you do feel like you're upside down. But how do you know that the side you were used to is not better than the one to come? Maybe sometimes we feel like we're stuck upside down because we need that clarity, that rush of blood to the head, right? We need that clarity that will show us that what's working over here may not be working over here. Now, we know on roller coasters that a lot of times it's after the loop that all the fun stuff starts to happen. But on other roller coasters, sometimes it's the loop and then the finishing up of the ride. So maybe the loop is what's telling you are in a place right now where you need to step back and see where you stand. The whole point of life is not linear is simple. Life is not a straight line, right? It's not linear. It's going to curve. It's going to swerve. It's going to send you rolling sometimes. No, even if you do not have a dinged up mental health, life is not always a straight line. Even for people who think they have perfect control over their life. But the question is, when we see people who look like they have perfect control over their lives, are they really pretending to have control over their lives? Or, as I wrote in my notes, which I'll read in a second, maybe they're just able to go with the flow. So the first note I wrote is from the website. The reality is, life simply is not linear. It's complicated and it rarely lays down for us as neatly or compliantly as we might like it to. In truth, life is messy. So again, the reality is life simply is not linear. It's complicated and it rarely lays down for us as neatly or compliantly as we might like it to. In other words, and in truth, life is messy. Life is messy. How we choose to deal with the mess is the other question. And sometimes that can be the hardest part. See, my problem is I've been stuck because I know there could be this great life out there for me, but I'm so afraid of it because there's been a lot of things I've had to heal. Do I deserve it? Do I, am I worthy? Am I enough? Am I lovable enough? Am I capable of loving enough? Will someone just quit on me, whether it's a friend, a family member, a future partner, whatever, when I have a mental breakdown? I mean, usually my mental breakdowns are usually just me going quiet and trying to figure it out. Or sometimes if there's an argument that starts up, I have to walk away now. Because if I don't, I'm going to fall back into bad patterns. And until I learn how to escape the bad patterns, sometimes I say things I don't mean just because I'm hurting so much inside. I want somebody else to hurt too. And that's not the way we should be living our lives. We should be living our lives trying to feel better, to be better. Not drag people down, the squirrely road with us. So the next thing I wrote is, so what to do when this happens? The website says step away from the issue and reevaluate the issue. Now, I didn't write down the things that it said on the inside, but I think these are very good ideas. Step away from the issue. Sometimes you have to take a step back in order to see everything. Have you ever had that friend? And I'll admit, I actually give, okay, so this is a humble brag. I actually give good advice, good couples advice. Okay. Part of it is because I don't take sides. Sometimes you end up taking sides because some things just cannot be fixed. Some people are just so dense, they don't get it. But sometimes you're able to look in and see, and when I said sometimes they're so dense, I mean, I'm referring to my dear friend, the one that I just talked about, Cheryl, and the relationship she used to be in. You can't fix people that don't want to change. Okay, it's as simple as that. And her spouse at the time just, he was looking for something, but he was dragging her through, even with a smile on his face, he was dragging her through his needs or wants or whatever, instead of talking to her, instead of going to counseling with her like she had asked. Now, again, I do have permission to talk about this. She has given me permission to talk about, to reference her thing. But you know what? In the case that life is not linear, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she's in a relationship now. And a healthy one. Somebody who listens to her. Somebody who is there for her. Somebody who, when she has a trigger, we talked about this before, when she had a trigger and they're like, you know what? Next time, don't keep this from me. You need to talk to me because I can't help you through it if you don't talk to me. But the point that he said, I can't, that the point that he wanted to help her through it was everything. And it really changed the dynamic of the relationship, because she knew now that she could trust him. And that's where it was. Sometimes there's just that lack of trust, so the key is to not drag your baggage from the previous thing into the new thing. There are going to be times that you can't help it. Okay. And I don't mean baggage like if you have kids or whatever. They're not baggage. They are your life. They are part of your life. But what I mean is, if somebody mistreated you, don't think that that person's going to be the same way. Sometimes we carry grief into the next relationship. That's okay. That's part of your life. And that's something they will help you through. When I say baggage, I mean like, again, when somebody mistreats you, when somebody's not good to you, when somebody doesn't do nice things for you, but you're always doing nice things for them. Don't bring somebody else's bad habits and project it onto the new person. Because that person, that's how you chase people away. All right. And it can be hard because there is that trust issue. It's a trust issue. But her path in the last year and a half has really shown how nonlinear life really is. How it can twist and turn. I mean, it was like a total fluke that she met this person. I mean, literally, if I will see if I can get permission to share that part of the story, because it is just fantastic how it happened. I was just like, how the hell did that happen? It was amazing. But when I said that I give good advice, I know it's like a humble brag, but the reason I said that is because I'm outside of the issue. Okay? Sometimes when you're the outsider looking in, you can see the cracks. You can see what others can't see, because they are in the thick of it. They are in the middle of it. And so that's why the site was saying, if you are struggling, if life is getting super messy, take a step back, step away from the issue. Okay? So step away, walk away, just put it behind you for a moment or two. Take the time to heal whatever it is it needs to heal. Then come back and reevaluate the issue. Imagine you are standing outside of this. Okay? How do you look to the person that's watching this happen? How does the person you're having this issue with look to the person that's watching this? We can always say, walk a mile in my shoes, or put yourself in somebody else's shoes. But sometimes you actually have to put yourself into that third party position to see what needs to be fixed, what is cracking, what is not working. So the last thing I put is, so this is where I'm talking about when you see those people that look like they have all their shit together and everything looks great, and they seem like they have no problems. They don't fight amongst each other. They don't argue amongst each other. And I said, what about those people who seem like they have no problems? They have found a way to go with the flow and adjust to the quick turns and loop-de-loops without freaking out or blaming the world. They're the ones who realize life is not linear. They're the ones who say, you know what, okay. And maybe they've been where you're at now. Maybe they've been where I'm at now. I've never been where I'm at now. And I think that's why it's so overwhelming, because it's just like, I feel like for someone my age, I should have all my shit together. But I have done so much shadow work. I have done so much healing so quick that my head is spinning. It's spinning in a good way, because I realize, hey, once I stop spinning and once I catch my balance, I know everything's going to get better. I can make things happen in my life to make things better. But until I get to that point, I'm literally just sitting here. Sometimes, like my friend was saying, I just lay in bed and I cry. And, then you feel like you're worthless. You feel like you're not lovable. You feel like nobody can see you and nobody hears you. Then people reach out to you and you're like, I don't want to talk to you because you have no idea how I'm feeling. Or I don't want to talk to you because I don't want this, that, or the other. There's always going to be an excuse why you don't want to talk to somebody. But sometimes it's exactly what we need. We need to reach out. If you have that support group, if you have people who care enough to say, hey, I will sit there and I will just listen to you, or I will just sit there and say nothing while you go through your emotions. Sometimes you need to do that. And it's when you feel like you least want to do that is when you probably should be doing that. And I'm terrible at reaching out. I tell people all the time, hey, reach out to me. I'm here for you no matter what I'm going through, because it takes me away from my problems, but also because I want to be there for somebody else, because I don't like people feeling the way I feel. Sometimes I think that's my problem with trying to fix things, which I'm really trying to overcome. I'm trying not to overstep anymore. I'm trying not to tell people what they need to do. I'm just, I try to guide them and say, hey, when you're ready, do this. But you have to make that choice. You have to make the choice to be better. And you have to make the choice to feel better. And you have to find a way to push through when you are unable to push through. And maybe you'll be one of those lucky people that has someone that comes up behind you and says, hey, I'm going to hold you up until you can stand on your own. I'm going to show you that life can be okay, that life will be okay. But ultimately, I can't push you in the direction you want to go in. You have to choose the direction you want to go in. I can sit here with you, I can be there for you, but you have to make the choice to get better. And it always comes down to that. It always comes down to that one question, right? Do I want to be better or bitter? I don't want to be bitter. I've spent the better part of my life being bitter about things, and it's affected my life in a lot of different ways. Even when I didn't think I was being bitter, I was. I look back on some of the relationships I have, and I look back at the relationships I see that people around me that I love and care about have, and I think, why couldn't I have that? And then it makes me angry, and then it makes me sad, and then it makes me bitter. And I don't want that. Right now, I'm in a very healthy relationship with myself, and I say healthy because even though I am struggling mentally, I get it now. I get where I'm coming from. I know that I am enough. I know that I deserve better than what I've had in the past. And that's not any pressure on the person that will come into my life eventually, wherever they are. What it means is that I'm not going to carry the sins of my past relationships into a new one. Is there going to be a trigger? Maybe. And I think, to be honest, it's one of the reasons why I've kept myself single for so long. Maybe there was something subconscious in me that knew until I healed these parts of me, I wasn't going to be functional in something else. I was going to give until it was too painful to give anymore, and then I would just be depressed. And I would pick badly. I'd make bad choices again. Because a lot of times I think sometimes we pick the people that we want to fix because we can't fix ourselves. And it has to start with you. And it has to start with simply the line, life is not linear. We are going to have to learn. think of it as like a football player, whether it's American football or European football, right? You have a guy with a ball swerving. Now, in American football, you can get tackled. And sometimes that's exactly what life feels like you were getting fucking tackled. But then eventually everybody gets off of you and you get back up again. You might get injured. You might get hurt. But most of the time you're just going to get back up and keep going, right? In football, as we call it here, soccer, sorry, you have a guy when he gets the ball, right? He's trying to avoid all these other people trying to take the ball away from him. But he's trying to move down the field. Breakaways are fun to watch. Not very happen. I haven't seen it happen very often, but they're fun to watch, right? In hockey, breakaway is a big thing. Breakaways are amazing. But sometimes, most of the time, unless you have a fabulous scorer, the person that has the breakaway usually doesn't score. But you get excited because you're thinking, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh. But other times when you don't give up, when you do believe, all of a sudden you score, right? They score. Have you ever seen a breakaway in hockey? It's amazing. It's like watching a guy run down the field in American football, from one end to the other. And you don't see that very often. But when you get so excited that you just want to get up. My mom used to get up and run to the TV like she was carrying the ball. And I think the only reason she stopped is because, there's a TV and a wall behind it. But I swear, if you were watching outdoors, she probably would have ran past it. But it's because there's that excitement in you that something big can happen. That's what creating that breakaway in your own life is. I had to start doing affirmations because, affirmations don't work for everybody, but you have to pick something that does. If you like to meditate, do guided meditations. If you're not a person that meditates, guided meditations actually help me. I actually, a few years ago, there was a YouTube channel. I wish I could remember the name of it. But there was a meditation, different meditation every single day for a month. And I did each and every one. I picked the ones that worked. And it actually taught me how to meditate. And when I do struggle, when my brain, because I have a monkey mind. It's like a freaking straight up circus in there, okay? I will listen to a guided meditation. And sometimes my mind even wanders then. But more times than not, I'm able to zero in and focus, You can listen to music. Music is very, very therapeutic. I have a whole playlist for when I'm agitated to just kind of calm my nerves. But the point is, when it comes down to it, and totally off topic of life is not linear, when you start to feel better, you have to be honest with where you're at. I was completely honest with where I'm at right now in my mental health, how it's affecting me, how it's affecting my life, how it's affecting all the things I'm responsible for. And by doing that, I really feel like I lifted a big weight off my shoulders because I haven't been able to say that out loud. I haven't been able to say, oh my God, I'm failing in the most spectacular way. But I'm still breathing. So there's still a way to get out of this. I don't know how, I don't know when. I just know that right now, by doing these affirmations, I'm reminding myself that I am. I am is so powerful. And what word you choose to go after it, that third word is everything. When you start with I, and you finish with something like I hate myself, you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball. Even if you do hate yourself, you need to sit there, look in the mirror and say, I love myself. Because that's where the change starts. And keep saying it. The one thing I like about these affirmations is there's so many of them, and a lot of them may not even apply, but every so often fit in there. I'm caring. I am calm. I am lovable. I am enough. And then it might go on to a variation of other things. But the point is, they're putting it in there. And towards the end, I am beautiful. I am smart. I am kind. I am loving. I am unlimited. I am limitless. I am enough. I am lovable. I'm funny. I'm charismatic. All these great I ams to remind you, to tweak your brain, to tell it, look, you know what? Maybe you're acting up because I haven't been paying attention to you. Maybe you're acting up because I haven't given you the proper care that you needed. This is why mental health can be so draining and why it can be so hard. Because you look at your life, and sometimes it's hard not to compare your life to somebody else. You know, sometimes it's hard to not look at somebody else's life and think, God, you know, I wish I had it a little bit easier like that. Or I wish I had that steady income coming in right now. Or I wish I had that relationship. Or I wish I had that family or those kids or that car or that house or, you know, but when you compare yourself to other people, you're overthinking it at that point. And comparing yourself to other people, it's just going to make it worse. You don't know what goes on in their life. You don't know if they're hurting. You don't even know if they're happy. All you see is what they have and you don't have. But you don't know how much work it may take to maintain that. That's why we need to focus on our own lives, because maybe it doesn't take any work at all. Maybe they are just genuinely that nuclear family, right? That just sunshine and roses. And that's okay, because you don't know what they've done to work there. They may have been in your situation. They may have been you once. And when they finally found their footing, they may have said, you know what? I may struggle from time to time, but I'm not going back. I tell you, when I figure out how to get back on my feet, I'm not going back. I'm never going to let the things that have been happening to me in the last 7 months happen to me again. Because I'm aware of what it feels like. It's like electric shock therapy. Except this hurts a lot more, I think. I mean, I don't know. I've never been through electric shock therapy, but this hurts because I'm in control, but I'm not in control. And like I said at the beginning of this show, I am failing in the most spectacularly fucking way possible. And yeah, I'm dropping the F-bombs. Yeah, I'm dropping the swear words because that's exactly how it feels. It's that emphasis on it. You know, I mean, to me, failure is an F word. And yet I've had to fail to figure out that I am deserving. I had to hit my lowest and keep digging before I could finally admit to myself that I'm healed. That I've done my shadow work. My shadow work is over. It's done. It's kaput. I've hit every root in that tree of my life. And I've healed every root in that tree of my life. But like this card, I've been so afraid of the other side that I've been shooting myself in the foot. And a lot of it's not intentional. A lot of it I didn't even realize until right now when I was talking to you. When I was sharing all the things that I am spectacularly failing at. But I'm doing it without tears in my eyes now. Because I have let it come up and out. And it's very possible that feeling like a failure and not wanting anyone to see it, to make everyone believe that I'm okay and I got things handled, maybe that was my anchor. Maybe that's why I was stuck upside down on that loop-de-loop, right? That roller coaster loop. Because how do you know that the side you were used to is better than the one to come? I don't begrudge my past. Not anymore. Because my past has put me in a path and on a path of where I belong. I love doing this show. You know, even yesterday, sibling finally told me. Well, not finally, but she actually told me because I didn't know. I thought she just watched to be supportive. She told me, she's all, you know, just so you know, your videos help me too. And I'll be honest, I was a little shocked. I was. But, you know, I don't think I ever finished the thought. So I'm going to circle way back. When I said the last thing she said to me before I went into my room last night to go to sleep was, everything's going to be all right. Now, like I said, that Bob Marley song has been stuck in my head. Just that line. I mean, I keep singing it in my head. And then this morning, one of the girls that I share lists with, that was her quote for today. Because we share quotes and affirmations, okay? And we try to be very positive and very uplifting and very kind of motivational in what we choose. And sometimes I think they're just reminders. Like for me, life is not linear was a reminder to me. Today's quote was, or today's affirmation was, I have the courage to overcome any fear. I did not expect to say some of the things that I said on this perspective. But I think the point of saying it was to make people understand that because life isn't linear, we have to figure out how to learn to adjust. Right? But like I was saying in the quote, her quote was everything's going to be all right, word for word. And I just kept thinking, I have been doing my manifestations. I've been doing my intentions. I've been praying at night to God and during the day. And just kind of just talking to him randomly. And, because he's one of my source. I believe in God, the universe, all the higher powers, right? I don't think there's just one. But that's just me. Okay, and I don't want to lose anyone there. Sometimes I feel like I got to explain that because of that one person that goes, what? But the point is, I feel like that was the message. Everything's going to be all right. I need to trust my path. I haven't been doing that. And because I haven't been doing that, nothing has been able to fall into place. Nothing has been able to work the way it's supposed to work. Because I'm stopping that flow. I am treating life like it is linear. I'm walking in a straight line and I'm missing everything to the side of me because I'm ignoring the path. I'm ignoring the path I should be on. And it's not easy to share some of the stuff I share. I mean, like I said, I literally, just from the beginning of this, put myself in a place where people can judge me. And people can say, oh yeah, well that's an excuse. And that's okay. Because what other people think of me is none of my business. I need to focus on my page. Keep my eyes on my own paper. I need to stop comparing myself to what other people have. I need to stop comparing myself to other people's lives. Because people that I feel like have their shit all together don't always have all their shit together. And sometimes when you talk to people later, you're like, oh my God, but you seem so blah, blah, blah. And that's why I felt like I needed to be honest. Because, I come on here and it has happened where I have, like I said, canceled more shows in the last few months than I have in the first year that I was doing this. But it's because I wasn't being honest with myself. I wasn't being truthful with myself. And now that it's all out there, I feel like I'm being truthful with you. I'm not always on my game. We see this. I'm very honest about my mental health when it comes to these shows. And I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to lie because I do feel like it does help people. It shows people that, hey, and who knows, maybe it'll just be one of those things where, oh shit, I got my shit more together than this girl does. And if that helps you, that helps you. And you're welcome. But for the most part, I think what I was trying to convey in this is that it's very important to be honest with ourselves. And I think by putting out there what I put out there today, it not only helped me be honest with myself, but I think it showed people that I do trust the message, that I do trust what I'm putting out there, and that it will get better. It will be okay. This too shall pass. That's my father's favorite saying. This too shall pass. But like I also said a few minutes ago, I don't begrudge my past anymore because it was my past. It put me on this path. It's made me who I am today. And it's kind of afforded me that humility and that compassion and that empathy that I'm able to show to other people, because in a lot of cases I have been there and done that. I mean, sometimes you just got to be honest. And you got to come clean with yourself. You don't have to come clean to anybody else but yourself. Okay? And if you want to come clean to other people and you need to, maybe you have to make amends or something. I don't know. The first person that you truly need to be honest with is yourself. And then see when you are, if that weight feels like it's been lifted. My heart feels a lot less heavy now. And, being honest in front of however many people are going to end up seeing this was not my intention. But again, I went with the flow. and I know for whatever reason it happened, for whatever reason that maybe somebody out there needs to see that, then I'm okay with that. I'm an open book. All right. I get permission from other people to tell their stories. I will not put other people's stories in here that are not my own, but I do come from a place of experience. You know, believe it or not, I'm actually a little more private than I am on the shows. But the whole point of the perspective is to help people. It's to show them and to guide them that we can get better. It's to show and to guide people who do not have a dinged up mental health. Give them ideas on how to help people like us to have that patience and understanding, and in more than not case, or more cases than not, have that compassion and that empathy. Sometimes when we don't know what to do, we don't want someone to sit there and say, well, maybe you should try this, that, or the other. Sometimes we just want to be either hugged or have someone wrap around our shoulders and either just sit there with us, listen to us vent, or just say, you know what, they're there. You know? And, you know, sometimes we can add, it'll be okay. But you read the room first, because sometimes it's not even what somebody wants. Sometimes people just want the they're there. You know? You have to sit with the emotion to feel it. And you have to feel it to heal it. You know, I know sometimes people want to punch me when I say you got to feel it to heal it, but it's the truth. And now this is an emotion I'm going to have to, this is some truths, some serious truths I've literally just spewed out there that I'm going to have to sit with now and try to figure out what I need to do and how I'm going to handle this. You know, and hope for that miracle, right? So anyways, just remember, I'm going to read the Rumi card one last time because it really is, awesome. Oh, I'm glad I'm wearing a dress today. Do not worry that your life is turning upside down. How do you know that the side you were used to is better than the one to come? If you're stuck in the middle, it's because life is catapulting you out of your past. It is catapulting you out from behind yesterday. And it's trying to push you into what is yet to come because it knows it's going to be better for you. Your super consciousness knows it's going to be better for you. So what you need to do is convince your consciousness to feed into your subconscious that everything's going to be all right. Okay? So, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please take care of yourselves. All right. I will see everybody back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Facebook Live. It is public, so anybody can watch. If you want to watch later, I do post them to YouTube. Feel free to click and subscribe. Oh, I got a new subscriber over the weekend. I'm so excited. Cheryl's friend subscribed, so woo. You know, I mean, I'm not necessarily knocking down the doors in numbers, but I get excited whenever somebody subscribes because it makes me feel like, you know, it is helping people. So thank you to you who subscribed. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'll see you back here tomorrow for Tuesday Thoughts. It ain't getting any easier this week, kids. I'm actually going to talk about different symptoms of depression. So, you know, and it'll be a good one. So again, it's not always going to be about mental health. Lately, we're focusing on I always say we. Lately, I'm focusing on mental health because I think it's important. All right. And I think it's important to get that message out there for people who do and do not suffer from indignant mental health. So once again, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Happy Monday. Enjoy the first day of your work week. Don't look at Monday and go, ugh. Look at Monday and go, yeah, what can I accomplish this week? Okay. Have a great day, and I will talk to everybody tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.